Okay, well, anyways, let's get into the Devastation Evoker, right? Let's put Anduin behind us for a little bit. We're going to get into him real soon. Yeah, we'll get real deep into him. But we're going to talk a little bit about Devastation Evokers. And they are the DPS class again. They are the DPS side, again, described as a male-wearing mage for the most part. PY Jammies, are you Vine? You're not Vine, right? Good morning. What's up, Wisps? Okay, during Dragonflight's expansion announcement, Blizzard revealed the new exclusive class of the upcoming expansion, the DRACTHYR Evoker. In this article, we break down everything we know so far about the first range DPS specialization added since vanilla. Look at that. Devastation Evoker, including the new Empower skill type, and how this class could fit into the ranged meta. That's right, we got Devastation Evokers, the male-wearing mages. Slog, let me know if you're in here. Malware, same to you. So the introduction. My name is Preheat. I'm a guide writer for Frostfire Mages. Today I'm excited to share my opinion and speculation on the Devastation Evoker, the new range DPS specialization coming to Dragonflight. For the first time ever, we have a new range damage dealer. I didn't realize that we have not had a range damage. I did say, though, we have had a lot of melee added to the game. Right? Welcome, Slorg. We've had a lot of range added to the game. A lot of melee added to the game. No range. Hence the reason we get so damn melee heavy in our raids. So, we'll see. We'll see how it is, having finally another range class added. And I know people are excited. My brother-in-law, I've said before, he plays a mage, right? And this is like the first additional class that he's actually thought about getting into and playing. I want to make sure this isn't too loud for you guys. Which is cool. It's cool. So, what about the Devastation? What do we know so far? The Evoker is a race-specific class, only available to the DRACTHYR. It uses male armor, same as Shaman and Hunter. Devastation spec is ranged, but seems to be more of a mid-range caster, similar to a mage. Yep. Devastation focuses on blue, which is a frost or mix between frost and arcane, and red, which is fire. These are Dragonflight, specializations. Because we did talk about yesterday, the healing version of this uses green and bronze magic. Right, so there's a difference there. And then, again, these are focused on the Dragonflight colors and what they have to do. Good morning, and I'm signed up as Malware. What's up, Cog? Sorry I missed your message there. Welcome. This is all we... The Evoker is introduced as a new casting mechanic, Empower. Yes, we talked about this yesterday. The Empower ability is that chargeable ability where you can either click and spam, or you can hold and cast a stronger spell, right? And I think that this whole Empower ability thing, again, is going to be... Eventually, I feel like every class in the game is going to have an Empowerable ability. Something that you can click and hold and it hits stronger. And I think it's a very cool mechanic, and it's something that's going to add to, how you play your class. It's very cool. Evoker is an intellect class. He uses staves, axes, maces, swords, fists, weapons, daggers, and of course, offhands. The wing buffet is their racial ability. I think that's like a wing knockback where they use their wings and knock the person back, which is cool, especially for somebody who's a mid-range, right? You got to keep the people away from you. So that's a cool thing. Gorlick's welcome. Evoker uses Essence as a resource, which regens passively like energy and is used... Oh, okay, so they don't have mana. It's more like energy? That's interesting. So this is a mage that wears mail and uses energy. Interesting. So this is all we know for certain. But there is also information about the Evoker on the Dragonflight expansion reveal. Yeah. We saw that various interviews. Okay. Glide and Soar. Class design. I'm keeping these separate because I believe Evoker has 2 different mechanics that suspend you in the air. I highlight these mechanics because I believe they will be an important part of the Evoker class concept. First up is the ability to glide, or falling with style, right? This is very Demon Hunter-esque, similar to the Demon Hunter, but with some key differences. Yeah, so they can glide around. Again, they're going to be a very mobile class, very easy to get around. I'm very jealous of them as a Death Knight because I'm a wheelchair class. I have no mobility whatsoever, and these guys will be very Demon Hunter-esque with their mobility. Energy could just be the DPS spec, but I love to see an energy-based healer. An energy-based healer would be interesting. Thing about energy is, though, I'm pretty sure energy does not regen with drinking, right? So you can drink and energy doesn't come back. It's just a passive regen. So how that works with like Mythic Plus, I mean, I guess it works the same way as a rogue does, right? But you're gonna have to work on your casting maybe a little bit, your casting time. So this seems more like a passive than an ability. The gliding, I'm guessing, is what we're talking about. Likely activated by jumping or falling. An example of gliding is showcased, not the same as the Demon Hunter, since it doesn't seem to add forward momentum. Right, the Demon Hunter have the dash and stuff like that. There are also no examples of double jumps showcased, so I'm assuming Evoker will not be able to double jump. Interesting. Evoker seems to be able to take flight and cast spells while moving at the same time. Yeah, look at the mobility right here. This is like, for rating, this is amazing, right? No reason why a DRACTHYR should be caught in the fire, because this guy's still casting and moving, and look at his speed, his movement speed. This is going to be a very mobile class, even more so than what you see with a mage. What's up, Endgrove? How's it going? For PvP, it's hell. Oh yeah, definitely. Look at, I mean, being able to cast on the move like this, phenomenal for PvP. Duel, let me know if you're in the stream too. Although it seems to be specific to Frost Beam, to the Frost Beam ability at first glance, if you look closely, the clip has the Evoker flying before the beam even appears to cue another spell at the very end. And he's queuing another spell at the very... Yeah, look at his hands. Look at his hands glow there at the very end. It does look like he's in this flying mode, regardless of the casting that he's doing. So this might be like a cooldown ability where they can fly around and cast their spells, which is crazy again. The mobility that offers you is insane. I'm in the stream. Billy, what's up, Billy? I might fly into more fire with that much agility. Right. Or could you imagine the match with Anduin right now with this boy flying around? Oh, man. Collisions galore. But he makes a good point that he's casting other abilities while he's doing this. It's not just the beam. So that's going to be interesting. Although it seems to be specific to the Frost Beam at first glance. Yeah, I read that. Okay, the ability to... the ability which I refer to as Soar, from now on, seems to provide speed increases and allow certain or all spells to be cast while moving. Again, amazing. Amazing agility while casting. That's something new, and it'll be fun to see how people play with that. The Frost Beam seems to be a separate spell. Yeah, see here you see the Frost Beam being cast while standing still. Here you see it while that mobility, or Soar mode as he's calling it, is active. Very cool. Empower or hold casting. Yeah, we talked about this. The ability to click and hold an ability down, allowing it to charge up, basically. Charging up the ability, and the longer you charge it, the harder it hits when you release. Which is very cool. It's something we haven't seen in a while, and it's, I'll say it for a third time, something that I think is going to be in every class eventually. Every class will have an empowerable ability. Shaman salty. This wasn't Spirit Walker's grace. Everyone's gonna want a mobility to be mobile like this and be able to cast. And yeah, for PvP, that's gonna be crazy. As mentioned before, the Evoker will have a new type of spell called Empower. This is a new casting mechanic where you hold the button down to charge the spell. Yeah, look, it's got the casting bar above it. There he is empowering his spell. And again, you don't have to fill it all the way. You can click and release right here, or you can go all the way for a stronger cast. Charging your spells, empower them, increasing the damage or target's hit. Fire Breath has been shown in the preview. So see right here, he's charging it up. I don't know if you guys can see this, but he is charging up right here. See if I can zoom. You see this? Look at that. He lifts the foot and stomps down, and then he's charging. He's holding the whole time, and then he releases the shot. Very cool concept. I'm glad Blizzard's doing something like this. You know, we want them to take risks like this. We want them to try new things, and I think this is a very cool ability. The mechanic is new to World of Warcraft, but players who played MMOs like Lost Ark will certainly recognize these kinds of spells from the game. Spells that are charged up this way will do more damage when they hit the targets, depending on the spell. In the preview, this new mechanic is described as a way to give a player a physical connection to their spells. And I agree, that's in essence the effect that it would feel like it gives you. Is, you know, you're charging it up, you are in control of the spell. This is a welcome addition, and I'm excited to see it in practice. Yeah, so am I. Have a nightmare for everyone. Facts and damn, if they can move while casting, give back warlocks move to move while casting too. LOL. Have nightmare. Okay, have nightmare for everyone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of classes that are jealous of the abilities these guys are gonna have. Shabintos and Tide. Well, what's up? Okay, every class needs a filler ability, and this seems to me to be like the most likely candidate, at least from the red spells. The animation from this spell reminds me of Flame Spit, of Searing Whelp. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Isn't that a mage ability? Who has Flame Spit? Wait, I've played mage. I don't remember Flame Spit. Anyways, I remember, what was it called? Scorch. Scorch is like a filler ability for mages. But his cast character instead is a shot from the mouth. So we see here he's launching a fireball shot from the mouth. It's landing. Looks like it's doing a little bit of ground. There's a ground animation there. It's pretty cool. Cat jabs, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I can't believe after all this time we're finally getting a new combat mechanic like hold spell. What about time? Yeah, I agree. I agree. Take some risks. Give us some new shit. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be very cool. And like I said, it's coming every class, guaranteed. This ability seems to target AoE. Seems like a target AoE that affects multiple enemies. It is mentioned in the preview that the spell burns the enemy, so I think it's safe to assume that it appears to be some sort of damage over time debuff that hits the target.
To this realm.
KT Hawk, thank you for the follow and welcome to our Scourge. This spell could also be cast with a reticle, similar to Shadow Crash. I don't know, you guys tell me what that means. I have no idea what Shadow Crash is. Philip and Q, awesome. Welcome to Raid. I mean, that's a cool bit. And yeah, I see the AoE hit the floor there. This is probably like an AoE dot. That's what I'm assuming it is. Similar to Dragon's Breath, this spell has a frontal cone that burns all enemies. And you see, the reason why I think they're considered to be mid-range is frontal cone doesn't look like it has that much distance on it. Like, this person cannot stand where mages would be standing typically. It looks like you're going to have to be in mid-range to be able to hit with some of these abilities. Which is an interesting concept, again, for raiding as well. Shadow Crash is an AoE circle cast by Shadow Priests. Okay, okay. Kaltora in chat. We're going to get him today. That's right. That's right. We are. Welcome to Raid. That's right. Happy Friday to everyone. We're getting him down. You have to spec into it. Okay, okay, I got you. Hey, what's up, Pronk? Let me fast forward this a little bit. There we go. So it's safe to assume... hold on, I skipped. This spell was one of the examples used in the empowered preview. It's unclear if the smaller enemies are crowd control from this ability, or this is just their animation. Oh yeah, they're kind of getting... Oh yeah, it looks like they're... They might be getting like dizzy or stunned after this hit, because their heads do go down, but it could be just the animation like this person's saying. If it does provide crowd control, the middle humanoid is unaffected. This breath spell seems to have a shorter range. Yeah, that's what I was saying, but it's possible that with Empower you can make it larger. Interesting. So, I mean, empowering your abilities could affect how far you can even stand. Similar to Breath of Onyxia, this spell has the caster fly over 30 yards forward while delivering a devastating breath attack. I can imagine people falling off the edge of the raid platform already with this one. Right? Unless it stops you from falling off, I can totally imagine people just gliding right off the edge. There you go. See you later. Especially on like the Anduin platform. Didn't we have a monk yesterday who did his little twirl spin right off the edge? That was funny. It is safe to assume that the deep breath attack is a cooldown, similar to Frostworm's Fury. Yep. Played Frost Mage. I thought of Frostworm's Fury as soon as I saw this animation, except the only difference is when you cast Frostworm's Fury, the dragon comes and flies over and does his thing. You remain still. It's just an animation. Thank you for the summon. I'm going to need an auction house mount, because I need to get some flasks and shit, man. It is important to note that this spell moves your character. Right, unlike the Frostworm's Fury cast that Frost DKs do, which means it could put you in harm's way. It also looks awesome, especially like the lighting effects on your character. As oh yeah, he's right. Look at how the lights are reflecting off the character there. That's really cool, actually. I didn't notice that. Which means it could put you in harm's way. Yeah, your character as you scorch the ground. I'm really interested to see if this spell can be used near a wall to get your character stuck or deal a ton of damage. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because if you're near a wall and you're just flying straight, all the damage is in one spot. Or if you can only hit one target once. This is also a crazy ability for PvP. I mean, the movement that it allows you to have. These guys are going to be extremely mobile. I think that's what we're understanding here. Mobility is not going to be an issue for these DRACTHYR. What about Breath of Sindargosa? Yeah, Breath of Sindargosa, but Breath of Sindargosa is just a frontal cone breath. You're not moving while you're doing it. Frostworm's Fury is the one that sends the dragon flying. I think that's what you're thinking of. Or whatever that DK summon. Yeah, the dragon. It's Frostworm's Fury. That's what you're thinking of. Where, you basically have a Sindargosa-looking dragon fly over and breath the entire area in a line. That's what you're thinking of. Mobility creep, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be super mobile, and all they're going to do is make DKs less mobile. Guaranteed. Okay, this next ability here, where it looks like he's slashing with his claws and hitting all the targets in front of him here. I'm calling this ability Frost Claw, but it appears to be... There it is. Yep, there it is. You guys could see it because I have this up here, but someone just did the cast. I'm calling this ability Frost Claw. It appears to be similar to Howling Blast. In the example, we see this ability used 3 times in a row. So it's safe to assume it's either has charges or is spammable. Yeah. Because of this, I'm assuming this is a blue filler spell used to cleave. Yeah, I would assume that's right, especially if it's being cast this many times in a row. This one, when I saw this looked like arcane magic to me. Right, the way he's jumping up and shooting, this looks like arcane. So, they're saying it's a frost effect. Okay. Conjure frost projectiles from a magic rune above the caster. This spell can be empowered as well. Okay. This is the other spell shown with an empowered mechanic was explained. In the preview, this spell took 4 full seconds to cast when empowered. I think it's safe to assume that the empowering of this spell will increase its damage. Yeah, I think so too. Since you have to give up so much time to fully empower it, right? I mean, could you imagine if you're PvPing, the kind of damage output you'd have if you're flying around beaming, then you fly back over with this breath, and then once you land, maybe the person's stunned or something, you fucking empower the shit out of this and blast them down. I mean, you've just basically one-shotted them. The amount of spells that you'd be able to cast, it's crazy. PvP, these guys are going to be insane. Okay, this is a channel spell that deals damage to only one enemy. Right, we saw this one, but we saw it with mobility as well. Where is it where he's flying around? We saw him beaming somebody and flying. Yep, right here. He's casting it and flying. So that's what he was doing with that ability, and it looks like it's a lock-on ability, so it's like just like straight up. It's kind of like my Blood Drinker channeled ability, where once it locks onto the person, it'll follow them no matter where you move. It's likely a cooldown, not...
And always use another Death Knight.
Miggity Mac, ahoy! Back at Andy this morning, I see. Yes, we are. Thank you so much for the sub 2 months in a row now, Miggity. Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, good to see you back, Miggity. Good to see you back, man. And look at that. Now you got the, what is it? You got the 2-month sub badge. Hell yeah. Congrats. Thank you so much for the sub. So yeah, that Ray of Frost. Again, he was saying it's channeled on only one enemy, has a cooldown, and can cast while moving. Yep. It looks like a channel effect, which means you can cast it while moving. And then the Wing Buffet spell. Yes. This one looks very cool. The animation for it where they use their wings and throw it forward. Awesome stuff. Whereas if I'm casting, I have to cancel the whole thing. I think that's cool that if you're doing an empowered spell, but you gotta stop and dodge something, you can still cast it. You can still get the cast off. Yeah, exactly. You just don't have to charge it up all the way, right? It won't be as powerful, but it's cool to see that if you were empowering it, you haven't wasted your time in essence, right? You still get the cast. You just release it in the cast and then you move. Very cool. This is likely... Wing Buffet is a spell that appears to damage enemies while knocking them back in a cone in front of the caster. Again, for PvP, amazing. Like a knockback ability. That's crazy. This is more of a utility spell, similar to Typhoon. This is a racial ability. Okay, you get this whether you're a healer or this. And it's crazy because this person's a caster, right? So you always want to keep a little bit of distance between you and the person you're fighting. That's a great way to do it right there. Very cool. So how does Devastation Invoker fit into ranged DPS meta? We still aren't sure. And, okay, yeah, neither are we. How Essence will work as a resource. Yeah, that's because it's an energy type resource, which is weird for a mage style caster. Or how the playstyle will with it. With these examples in mind, picture a Devastation specialization begins to form. The bigger question is, how does Devastation fit into the game as an additional ranged DPS? Are there enough unique niches left? Until we know exactly what Devastation is good at, we don't know what their strengths will be. Based on the information we have so far, Devastation seems to have strong AoE cooldowns. It also has the ability to modify abilities with empowering them, which in some cases will make them hit more targets. Since Devastation has many abilities that have a shorter reach, similar to Fire and Arcane Mage, it has to be played closer to the boss and will likely have to move more than most range. Hence, but moving won't be a problem for them. They're much more agile than most range, it looks like. This is why the Soar cooldown I pointed out before is important, because having a mid-range without mobility would likely be frustrating to play. Agreed. As a range without dots, well, I don't know if they don't have dots though, because to me one of those abilities looked like a dot. I forgot which one it was. There was an ability that I thought looked like a dot ability. Maybe it was this this little shot here. This one. I mean, maybe Pyre could be a dot. Or there was the claw one too. That one could be a dot as well. This one. This could be a dot, right? This could be like a bleed mechanic or something. The way he's scratching. We'll see. It's all speculation at this point. To me, this implies that the strength of this class will likely be in its versatility and cleave and stacked AoE. Yeah, amazing for Mythic Plus, probably. Again, this seems familiar to as a mage player. The ability to do a lot of cleave AoE is something that many classes already have, including classes with strong spread cleave. Looking at you, Destruction. Remornia, you want a tank today, man? Let's go, double DK tanks. Alright, we got 239. I prefer like 4 healers for this fight, though. So it really is up to you what other classes can do, since no niche exists in a vacuum. Yep. Personally, I like to see Devastation have phases and playstyles depending on what spells you have available, with red spells having strong cooldowns, burst AoE, and mobility. Blue spells will be more fill time between cooldowns, deliberately long casts, like Frostclaw Cleave. Yes, interesting. My primary concerns are adding a new range DPS without spread cleave is that it could easily fill the niche of an already established spec instead of finding its own. Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to be very. I mean, obviously their DPS is going to matter, right? So we got to see what their DPS output's going to look like. But the fact that they're going to be so mobile and be DPS, I think is going to offer a lot of things to this to raid, to Mythic Plus, and to PvP. Other issues I could see with Devastation have more to do with just being arranged in or around melee. There are a lot of abilities in Mythic Plus raid that are really nasty to range cause them to have to play far from the target. That's true, but they're going to be mail wearers, right? I think that's why they're wearing mails, because they might get caught in the fray a bit more than, say, a mage would. In a situation like this, Devastation would have to choose to stay with melee or do less damage. Staying in melee is also a problem if Devastation isn't exempt from abilities that can affect range, similar to Mistweaver Monk or Holy Paladin. Hopefully Blizzard takes into account when designing range mechanics in the future encounters. My last concern is how spells fit together. How will Essence be used by Evoker? There is a lot we don't know yet. So far, now we have to just be patient. That's right. Overall, I'm cautiously optimistic about the Evoker. Very excited to play it and figure out exactly what it is about. I can't believe after all these years we're finally getting a new range DPS. Yes, we are definitely overdue for a range DPS in game. And that it appears to be somewhat similar to Mage, my favorite class. Yeah, again, I said my brother-in-law plays Mage. He's excited to play this new class. I've always wanted to play a spec that mixes Frost and Fire spells, like Frost Firebolt. Yes, I remember that. So this class seems to be a dream come true, but I want to know more and can't wait to get my hands on it. Very interesting thoughts on this. To me, it looks like it's going to be a great class. You know, a lot of people are just going to try it straight up. I can heal for Heroic. Ricky, why don't you queue? What's your eye level, Ricky? Yeah, it does seem like an interesting class. Seems like one that I'm going to be interested in playing. Alright, I'll direct invite you. And I think a lot of people are going to try this class out. For sure. And, you know, obviously, like I said, what do DPS come down to? DPS. If they're going to put out high amounts of DPS, which they most likely will because they're going to be overtuned, especially early on, people are going to play it. And raids are going to want it, PvPers are going to want it, and Mythic Plusers are going to want it in their groups. So I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting. And I'm excited to see a ranged DPS class finally come back into the game, because we've seen DKs, we've seen monks, we've seen demon hunters, you know, all melee. Our raids have typically been very melee heavy because I feel like there's been so much melee added to the game. Range was definitely needed, and that's what we're getting with this new class. Very cool.